Welcome to this edition of Miles Ahead, and you join us here in a car park in Effingham to look at this. Is there a better looking car on sale at the moment? I don't think so. Has there ever been a better looking car on sale? Perhaps. But this is the Aston Martin DBS, the halo car of the Aston range, a car Aston Martin describes as a brute in a suit, which I think is quite apt. But I've had a problem with this car because I haven't been sure whether to stare at it or drive it, because it's just as good from out here as it is from behind the wheel. But anyway, let's have a quick look round. So this car starts at £235,000. This does come fitted with a few options that we'll have a look at, bringing the total price to just under £260,000. Now, the first option that you will notice is this rather stunning Diavolo red paintwork. That is a £4,000 option. But if we come down here, this honeycomb grille across the front, and they've really thought about this. This isn't just a bit of plastic stuck on here. This is high quality stuff. And you see all the carbon fibre around here. And as we come up to the top, you'll see the Superleggera logo on the side there. So that goes back to the sort of original. This was on the DB4, the DB5. It's Italian for super light, which this car isn't super light, but it's designed on a super light construction framework consisting of aluminium and carbon fibre and that sort of thing. But as we come around the sides here, you see these 21-inch gloss diamond black wheels, and they are stunning. They're a £2,000 extra on there, and the black brake calipers are £900 on there as well. And then these carbon fibre gills and the inlets on the bonnet as well, they come in at £4,000 combined. But let's have a look at what powers this thing. An AMG 5.2 litre twin turbo V12, and it's superb. So it kicks out 715 brake horsepower, 900 newton meters of torque, propels this car from 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds, from 0 to 100 in 6.5 seconds, and the in-gear acceleration, if you're in fourth gear doing 50 miles an hour in just 4.2 seconds with a heavy right foot, you could be doing 100 miles an hour. And there's one other thing on this bonnet as well. It's got soft close. Beautiful. So anyway, come around the sides, we've got DBS logo on the side there as well, just subtly put in there. We've got carbon fibre wing mirrors, so these are actually, they're set away from the car a little bit because the rear arch flares right out. So yeah, there needs to be a bit of gap here for the wing mirror so you can see past the flaring there. The door handle, pop that in, that opens. But again, I mean, it just holds itself in position. Really nicely done. Come around, really like the creasing in the back here. I think it just looks absolutely superb, this car. 21-inch wheels at the back, of course. And as we come around to the rear, we see the quad exhausts at the back here. We'll have a listen to those on the drive along section of this video. But yeah, I mean, it does sound absolutely superb, and it looks just as good from the rear as well. There's one other aerodynamic feature actually, which is in the boot. So as we come around the side here, so there are air intakes down the side here. So they come in through there, and the air passes all the way through, and it comes out of this section in the boot, same on both sides. And then as we close the boot here, you can see the air is forced out there, and this adds up to 180 kilograms of extra downforce. So, you know, really nice feature, really clever, and you do need that downforce on a car this size. But yeah, I mean, I just can't quite get over how good looking this car is. I mean, it is absolutely sensational, and that Diavolo red paintwork just sets it off, and you know you're driving something special when pretty much everyone stops to have a look at it, and if they don't see you coming, they will hear you coming. But let's have a look inside. So this is the box seat in the Aston Martin DBS Superleggera. Now, I'm sure you've heard in a lot of other reviews people saying that the interior of this is too similar to DB11. I've never been in a DB11, so I can't comment on that. And from a user's perspective, I actually quite like it in here. The one drawback though is that the infotainment system is quite outdated. I mean, it's just a couple of generations behind. I mean, I really like a touch screen, but that's just personal preference. If you prefer buttons and dials and all that sort of thing, then you'll get on very well with this, and you can connect your phone to it. And in this day and age, what else do you need? And who's buying an Aston Martin DBS Superleggera on the basis of its infotainment system? No one. This does come with the upgraded Bang & Olufsen BO sound system. It's £5,500, so you can see the tweeters pop out the top here. See if they'll put themselves down again now, probably not, but they pop up when you start the car up. You get square steering wheel in this. I wasn't sure how I was going to get on with that at first, but I really like it. Got really good functionality on the steering wheel. So on the right hand side you can change the powertrain setting, so from GT through Sport Plus, and on the left hand side you can change the ride from GT, Sport and Sport Plus. So that's really easy to do. You've got your volume controls, you can answer the phone and all that sort of stuff. It's fine. You've got stop button at the top here, so that's classically Aston Martin. They've had that feature in their cars for a while now, and then, you know, drive, reverse, park and all that up there. I'll just start it up because there's one other thing to show. Not only does it sound brilliant when it starts up, but we pop it into reverse, you can see you get this nice 3D camera around it, and that's actually really good. So it's got front and rear cameras, so you know it does make it very easy to park, and that's, you know, it's undoubtedly a good feature to have in it, because like I said, it is quite wide and you can't see the bonnet from here, and it is 260 grand, so you don't really want to be crashing into anything. You don't want to be curbing those £2 alloys either. So that's a really useful feature to have in there. So, you know, I'll describe it as functional in here. This bit as well, so rather than having to move the storage section back yourself, you've got a button for that. The cup holders come out here, they're a little bit flimsy, and you've got 2 USB chargers down there and a SD card as well in there. But I mean, this isn't the deepest, and as you'll see in the door bins as well, if you look on that side, again, they're not very deep either, so, and there's no glove box, so it's a little bit tight on storage space, certainly for something that's, you know, a super GT, you know, that genre. The idea is that you will be covering long distances in it. The other advantage though is it is 2+2, but you're not really going to get anyone in the back there. You're not going to get an adult in there. I mean, I'm 6'2". I tried to get in there earlier, but the sloping roof line just meant that was impossible. It does have ISOFIX though. I did get my son's car seat in there, but I did have to have the passenger seat all the way forward so that he had a bit of legroom. But I mean, it's very functional in here. The other note to mention on the interior, this obsidian black and Lord's red interior, that's a £1,995 option, and this carbon twill satin effect stuff that's in the door handles and that's £2,500 option, and that's split opinion with people I've spoken to. I don't mind it. A couple of people who've been in here with me said that they absolutely don't like it, but Aston Martins are some of the most configurable cars you can buy, so, you know, user's choice. I think that's about all there's saying here. Nice Alcantara headlining and all that sort of stuff. It's got nice quality touches. It doesn't feel cheap in here. It does feel like a premium product, which you'd absolutely expect at the price point. But the real reason you're buying one of these is for the driving experience. So let's check that out now. So, what's the DBS like to drive? Let's start. Sounds absolutely stunning. Right, I had it in Sport Plus then. I'm going to flip it back to GT and we'll just calm everything down again so you can hear me. I mean, what's this car like to drive? I'll skip sort of straight to the conclusion. I guess the major downside of this car is it's going to make everything else feel a little bit mundane. I mean, it's just extraordinary. It looks amazing. It drives superbly. It sounds fantastic. It's as smooth as silk and as violent as a Mike Tyson uppercut, and everything in between. It is all things to all drivers. You can tickle it about softly and it doesn't make too much noise because we're behind the cyclist, but then when you need to go for an overtake, quick squeeze that right foot and you're away. It is extraordinary. I mean, it is a fantastic car, and it is very, very worthy of being Aston Martin's halo car. I mean, there's a lot of pressure that comes with that tag, but I think that this car carries it superbly. It is every inch an Aston Martin. I mean, I think Aston Martin's really, when you think about the Aston Martin, obviously you go back to like DB4, DB5, I mean, they were the original Super Grand Tourers, and I think this is a very accurate modern embodiment of what those cars were, and this car stays true to the sort of principles of that, even having the Superleggera logo on the bonnet and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it does tie in very nicely with Aston's history. Right, we'll get past this cyclist and you are just away. And I mean, in a real world setting you could say it's a bit too powerful. I mean, the numbers are just outright intimidating. 715 brake horsepower horsepower through the rear wheels, 900 newton meters of torque. I mean, that does translate into how it drives as well. I mean, I'll admit at this stage to having been a bit of a wimp, A, because it's someone else's car, and B, you know, I wouldn't mind staying alive a little bit longer, but I haven't floored it, because the traction control light comes on, you can feel the car start to squirm. You know, there's too much power there. But that's not to say you can't enjoy it. I mean, at half throttle, this car is still staggeringly fast. I mean, it's astonishing, and the engine is superb. I mean, it propels this car like you wouldn't believe, and it is amazing. But it does have that sort of, it's almost like living with a pet python. You know, it's sort of sizing you up every night, ready to kill you and eat you. And this car will kill you and eat you if you get it wrong. You need to respect it, you need to look after how you're driving in it, but I admire it for that. You know, through the power bands, when using the manual gearbox is really rewarding. The gear changes are instant, and the peak torque delivery is between 1800 and 5000 RPM, so you can start to feel the acceleration lag once you sort of get beyond 6000 RPM. Quick pull of the paddle in the right hand changes up gear instantly, and you get that immediate torque shove in your spine, and it just takes off again, and that acceleration is just relentless. It's an astonishing thing, and it really is a joy to drive. But at times, if you don't respect it, it can be a bit like James Bond after too many martinis gobbing off at a Russian spy over a poker table in Monte Carlo. It is rowdy, and raucous is absolutely a word I'd use to describe this car. I mean, everything about it is not quiet, it's not subtle, and it just goes, and it is, I mean, I feel very lucky to have driven it. I've been really looking forward to driving this car. I've been really excited. We had a couple of false starts with Aston Martin because of COVID and unavailability, so I've been waiting about 8 months to get hold of this DBS. So I've been like a kid at Christmas waiting for this car to arrive, and it absolutely has not disappointed. It has been everything I expected and a little bit more. And people love this car as well. Everyone wants to talk about it. You know, you see kids pointing at it, people taking photos of it on the motorway and that sort of stuff. I mean, it stands out in such a positive way, and I think the spec of this car, this model I'm driving now, I think they've got it spot on. I love that Diavolo red paintwork. I really like the interior in here, the Lord's red and obsidian black. I mean, it suits this car perfectly, and I think Aston Martin, to give them their dues, have got the character of this car absolutely nailed on. It is brilliant. Everything an Aston Martin should be. It's, you know, Super GT, as I said, is every inch what Aston Martins should be about, and this car just delivers in spades. So if you're shopping around in the Super GT market, firstly, congratulations. Secondly, this just will not disappoint in any way, shape or form. Couple of rough edges, like I said, can be a little bit too powerful at times, but if that's even a negative. The infotainment system's a bit naff, but I mean, who's buying Aston Martin on the strength of his infotainment system? No one. And as you might reasonably expect, it's a little